Well, it's another lovely and beautiful morning. It's the 12th day of January 2024 and a Friday and a time for us to really enjoy the weekend edition of Quest Today. I need to welcome you. My name is Michael Gobadia. Well, anyway, Friday means a lot to different persons. Some it's the last day of the working week and a need for them to go home and relax. While for others it's the beginning of the weekend and also for them to have a lot of fun to follow. But all I need to say, follow us all through the day. You'll be smiling at the end of it. But like I said, it's a Friday edition of Quest Today, and you always would know that we always enjoy starting first with the papers, and after that, the big story will come next. But you know, let's start with the papers. And for review today, we have 5 papers. We have The Guardian, we have The Vanguard, The Punch is here, The Nation, As I Trust You Know, Daily Trust will also with us. But you know who is always with me on a lovely Friday? And I'm talking of no other person but my very own colleague, Miriam Orekemi, and also the soon-to-be ordained bishop in 2024, first half, to make it your comrade, FL Domo. Guys, good morning and happy Friday.
You know, I'm going to be the first bishop comrade. And I am mechanically committed to that cause.
Comrade, it's too early. I know what I'm saying.
The thing is, comrade actually started this before now.
Okay.
And, well, let's see how it goes. But I hope you're ready, Dave.
Well,
Definitely.
She's coming fresh and ready. You're your own. Well, anyways, we're right here together. And let's start with the papers. Like I said, we have 5 for review today. And I'd like to start with the Punch. Let's see if we'll just punch you off that bed. In case you're still lying down there, come on, get up. Let's do something together. Well, anyway, on the Punch this morning, the leading story reads, the CBN plans shareholders summit comprise new directors list. And we're talking about the new change in Union Bank, Polaris, and Keystone Bank. And a major rider to that says, Apex Bank to discuss bank's future with stakeholders, new chairman, EDs to be named soon. But anyway, we know the executive directors and the new chairman have already been named. And we took that in our early news this morning on our morning news. But anyway, I'll just implore you to go get more of that story on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. But let's take orders. Our foremost industrialist, Okoya, clocks 84, advises federal government on economy. It's a major one on page 25. And tension in Kano as Supreme Court decides Yusuf fate today. And well, just not only him, but 7 others will be also knowing their fate today. But I'll tell you to continue that story on page 7 also. And well, Humanitarian Ministry, EFCC summons 20 directors and others. And it looks as if they are not really having a human face to this, as they've stolen a whole lot, according to the EFCC. But page 2 has more of that story. Let's quickly go and get some stories just beneath the picture of the day. Widows of soldiers killed in 1992 plane crash demand compensation. Wow. Wow. And
well,
1992. I still remember that.
34 years.
32 years now.
Well, I just hope some of the widows are still alive. But the truth about it is, page 18 has more of that story. Citizens mourn as female banker kills self, pens suicide notes.
Yes.
And it's a trending one,
yes.
But you can get that sad and disturbing tale on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. Another major one that's also trending, TB Joshua made childless couples to exchange spouses, says ex-worker. And page 3 has more of that story, and honestly, since the BBC report came out, this story has also been trending.
Yes.
But let's take one trending one also that happened in Lagos, and it brought about protests yesterday. And we're talking about Lagos NBA protesters storm police headquarters over brutality against lawyers. And you can get that story on page 4 and 5. And funny enough, that's also the picture of the day on the Punch. That's much you can take from the Punch.
All right, the next paper for review this morning will be the Guardian newspaper. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning, the major headline is quite a spiky one. It says, renewed hope agenda. After honeymoon, tales of woe and frustration trails Tinubu's policy.
Well, that's most marriages.
Well, do well to read that story on page 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper and get more information on the charts below. But moving away from that, we have Dangote refinery to reach full capacity in June as crude demand up by 2 MB PD. Yes, you can get more story on that on page 24 of The Guardian. Female banker commits suicide in Ikorodu, blames economic hardship. Yes, it's making rounds on the social media space. Quite a sad one there. But if you want to read more on that, you can go to page 9. Sislak faults and Eton's appointment as Obi insists no sacred cows. Well, I can't really know more about this, but you know, this is his error. Basically, he will know more about this. But read more on that story on page 6. Schools, banks, and others shut as Supreme Court decides Kano governor. It's making it to page 29 of The Guardian. And terrorists kill community head and 9 others and abduct women in Katsina. The big question on that now is this ever going to come to an end?
Usually after women. Kidnappers are after women. And I get luck.
Well, comrade, I don't know about that. But read more stories on that, or rather read more details on that on page 8. 2024 budget, why we settled for 800 naira per dollar benchmark, says the minister. A lot of us want to know more about this, but you can join me and read that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And well, that's much we can take on the front page of The Guardian.
Well, anyway, I know you trust us to continue, so we're going straight to Daily Trust. And Daily Trust this morning, security beefed up as Kano Plateau, 6 other states no fate today. And CP orders call for calm, winners appellate on beats, and the issue at stake is who will definitely be at the government house to continue 4 years. But anyway, I just tell you to continue that story on page 8 of the Daily Trust. Bandits adopt 23 in FCT. It's a very disturbing one right there on the page 12 of the Daily Trust. Army denies allegation of poor feeding of troops. It's another major one that is making the round most recently. And just like she took it on the front page of The Guardian, is right here also on Daily Trust. A village head son, 8 others killed in Katsina. So we said the rave of terror still continues there, but continue that story on page 21. Worry over 50% TSA deductions for aviation agency. It's another major one on the front page of the Daily Trust. Edu Gates is now being called. Don't spare anyone. Obi tells Tinubu. At least they agree on something now. But anyway, let's just continue on that. Man arrested for stealing 20 cartons of Quran and hadiths in Kwara. And I'm wondering, would that take you to heaven?
I don't understand how that works.
Correction.
Okay, so basically you committed a crime to steal...
No, to propagate the Islam.
We don't really understand what is going on over there.
I really want to understand later. But I'm quite sure him stealing the Quran will not take him to heaven. ICJ hearing. South Africa wants Israel held accountable for genocide in Gaza. And funny enough, that story can get on page 5. And also the picture of the day, you can see a damaged ambulance of the Red Crescent there in Gaza. And this picture was taken just yesterday. Well, that's much you can take from the Daily Trust.
Okay, the next paper for review this morning is The Nation. And on The Nation, the major headline reads, Anxiety in 7 states as Supreme Court delivers judgments. It's decision day for Plateau, Kano, Lagos and others, and Umoeno triumphs. Yes, you can read more on this on page 4 of The Nation newspaper. But moving above the masthead, we have Unwosu, Amuneke and Lawal give AFCON tips to Super Eagles. Gold winners reflect on strategies. There is the rider, but do more to read on that on page 13. Meningitis breaks out in Ogun, Ekiti, Ondo, Osun and others. It's making it to the front page of The Nation, page 6. But still on page 6, we have strong forces for deployment against bandits and kidnappers. That, like I said, you can do or to read both stories on page 6 of The Nation. Road projects contractors get green light on 1.5 trillion naira payment. Minister frowns at workers quitting sites during year altitude. You can read more details on that on page 4. But moving on down below, we have Edo Primary's tempo rise with PDP central endorsement of Igudalu. You can read more details on that on page 27. Process for revival of Ajaokuta steel mill begins, says minister. Quite an interesting one there, because I can see comrade nodding his head.
We discussed it yesterday.
You discussed this not too long ago, but more details on that on page 7. And at this point, that's as much we can take on the front page of The Nation newspaper.
Well, the Vanguard will be the last paper for us to take, and also we need to really give them the kudos for sponsoring this edition of the paper review. And on the Vanguard this morning, Edugate, APC governors, Peter Obi back Tinubu on probe. Riders to that says, governors ask Nigerians to be patient. It says Tinubu will take final decision after investigation as APC professional support president move to send strong signal to government officials. But anyway, I signal more of that on page 5. You can read up. And attacks Governor Alaba's local government chairman from leaving domains. It's a major one on page 2. Alleged $6 billion fraud. Ex-power minister
Aguloye.
Yes.
Aguloye
Gets a 50 million naira bill. It's a big one on page 3. And well, anyway, $6 billion.
You're granting a bill of 50 million.
And you're granting a bill of 50 million.
Wow. Mike, I'm going to do the same thing. Huh?
Well, anyways, I will not be a friend.
Oh, no, this is the reason why you're not ordained yet, comrade.
And I will not come to give you a bill.
This is we will call your name here. We will put your picture up.
Please support me to build my ministry.
Well, anyway, new bank CEOs will boost confidence, according to NECA and others. It's a major one on page 20. And also, third one, 32-year-old bank staff commits suicide over harsh economy. And well, that story you can get on page 7. 2023 AFCON, another injury scare for Eagles as Umar misses training. Come on. It's a major one on page 22. But the picture of the day is that of no other person but Minister of Mines and Steel Development. We're talking about Audu. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just as also the governor, the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Bagdaru Abubakar is also part of that picture, and that was taken yesterday at the presidential villa in Abuja. Well, anyway, that's the much we can take from the papers. Let's quickly open up the lines, quickly get your reactions and comments, as we really would love to also get the view of Comrade FL as it concerns some major. The number to reach us, Miriam?
Yes, the numbers are still the same, but if you're just new to Quest, today on the Big Story newspaper review, the numbers are 081 88 888 931 and 0022 931 931. Yes, do also state your name, your location, and then have your say. But if you're a new listener or a new viewer, you would know that you ought to be careful with the words you use here on TV. Yes, let's see if we have our first caller for the day. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, in case you didn't get the numbers, it's 081 88 888 931 and 08022 931 931. Hello, good morning.
Well, it looks as if we're still having issues with the connection.
Yes.
As much as we wait for that, let's quickly run to Comrade Odomo and quickly ask some few questions. And the first one I really want us to look at, 7 states will be on the showpiece today as it concerns the Supreme Court's verdict. And one of those states that already everybody is looking as a major one will be Kano State. Already, I do know the Commissioner of Police right there has told them, guys, it's not going to be business as usual. No protest will be allowed during, after, and even while this judgment is being given. I want your reactions to that, and a need for Nigerians to remember that this is just politics. No life needs to be lost.
Yes, Mike, I also agree with you. Just like I have a very strong reservation over riots. I'm not in support of it at all. But you know, all these problems are being caused by the inefficiency and the ineptitudeness of the political umpire, that is the INEC officials themselves. If they have done a good job, I don't think all these things will be coming up. And nobody invested so much in politics, and somebody will cheat you and they show it to you under your nose, and you will be happy over it. But there is one thing in life. There is a time to win and there is a time to lose. Anyone that comes to you, take it with a good faith. Because 2 persons cannot sit on that seat at the same time. But it's only painful when you know quite well that this thing that they are taking away from you is you are the rightful person, and somebody takes it away from you. But again, too, don't also forget that the best students in most cases don't become the best or the best successful students too. You can be very bright in the class, and during the exam you may not confess a second. Yes. So there are some things we should look and wish away if you want the lives of people to be saved. You know, like Jonathan said in his time, that my political ambition does not want the blood of any Nigerian. You know, so we should please at least let the sleeping dog lie. Whatever the judgment goes, Let the other person take it like that.
Okay, let's move away from that and come down to another crucial issue, but another headline that made the rounds on the front page of the Daily. We're looking at the Punch newspaper right now, and it says widows of soldiers killed in 1992 plane crash. Yes, demand compensation. 1992. That would give us what? 32 years.
Great men, servicemen during that time.
Yes.
High-ranking majors.
Yes.
Majors.
And that would give us like a space of what? 32 years since 1992. 31 or 32 years.
32 years.
So,
okay, let's just say an average of 32.
Now is this. I don't understand. How did we get to this point where the widows were somewhat forgotten?
Possibly too. Look, we cannot just blame the government wholeheartedly. What were the widows waiting for ever since? Were they pressing for compensation and they were not answered? Or did they do anything?
Because all their husbands were on official trip when that happened.
Yes. It happened in Ejigbo, very close to my house. It was a trackable distance from my house. That was the first time I saw IBB when he came to the site. Yes, I saw him, and the guy was shedding tears, actually. It was a very sad event, and I don't think they should have kept that matter. But no, and one thing we should know, the military, the police, and other paramilitary bodies, they are having that type of treatment. You know, the military, if you, in the police force, most especially, if you lose your life, they cannot give you more than 1 week to move your family out of the barracks for somebody else to take over. They should review all these policies. But I think these ones that happened is just too much to bear. They will have settled these people long ago because they have insurance. They have an insurance policy to cover for all these people when they are on duties. You know, may their soul rest in peace. But this one that they've not settled their family, I don't think the souls are resting in peace now.
Well, at this point, I think it's right that we take calls on the show. Yes, the numbers are 081 88 888 931 and 08022 931 931. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome. Your name and your location, please.
Okay, Evangelist Christopher on the line.
All right.
I really want to really appreciate you all there and this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to say about the power minister, the former power minister, $6 billion. We understand that OBJ during his time was an allegation that $16 billion for power too. Just imagine those amount of money. You understand? Somebody called yesterday about this Operation Feed the Nation. And somebody turned a public farm into a personal farm. I think in my career, you need to do post a program on those issues. We need to bring these issues back. Because if you look at 32 years old, a banker committing suicide. I do not support suicide, but the truth is that where this country is going to right now is horrible. It's terrible. It's very, very terrible. And if a 32-year-old banker can do that, imagine what other people who are not even as privileged as her would be doing. That is not even on record. That is not even on the media. You understand? So I think, my career, you need to focus on these issues. These are very pertinent issues that nobody is talking about. You know, talk about it.
Well, Evangelist Christopher, I will see what we can do about that, and be rest assured. But that very unfortunate one that happened in Korodu, at 32 years old, we even discovered that, funny enough, she's still single, but irrespective of a deep depression, it's another sad one that she had to pin as a reason for her taking her life. But anyway, we'll not take away the calls. We'll still take two more and wrap things up today. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Makere. This is Ajiri. I'm calling from Abraka.
Ajiri, all the way from Abraka. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, I heard something about whether now $50 billion, this 50 billion naira.
Okay, well, it's $6 billion. He's been alleged to have been stolen, but they gave him a bail of 50 million naira.
Makere, you see the kind of the country that we did. Somebody that look that kind of money. So what can you expect other people that they are coming, that they will not loot, that they will not thief? What were we talking about loot? Because we in Nigeria, we too like English. Somebody comes, thief that kind of money, at the end of the day, you will use peanut. So why do you expect other people when they go call, say they not go thief? My career.
Well, anyways, that's the problem there, and honestly, it's a sad one. But anyway, undermining the sadness, I feel we still need have one more call to see
take. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, welcome. Your name and your location, please.
This is Mr. Precious calling from Economy.
Welcome on board. Please have your say.
What my say is this morning is that Nigeria, we celebrate criminals. If not so, if somebody stole from National Treasury, money meant for other people, you confiscate it to yourself. There's no need. If the findings are fine, it's true, the person should be jailed. Not just to bail the person. Bail the person to do what? Let it face the penalty.
All right, thank you very much for keeping it short and brief and real. But yes, Michael Ray.
Right. It's really a sad one because in recent time we've been having issues of graft, especially as it concerns not stealing. How did he say we should call it? Not looting.
It's not looting, but stealing. I'd like Comrade to react to this because I see he's itching to say something, but I don't know if we have time for all of that.
So why did you put me on the soapbox if you don't have time for that?
Well, I doubt if we do have time to but Comrade,
you see, when I said that,
the expression
he did
of
say,
your
yes,
face,
he did say we should open up a church for him so that he could be able to.
Well, anyway, I will not be a part of can't give my ministry money. But anyway,
no, but you're Christian wise.
Okay, well, what I'll be a part of is to see how we can make him really doing this year, and we'll be happy to have a bishop joining us at the later end of the year. But anyway, before we go, Bishop TV, sorry,
we can imagine.
Go, Comrade Adomo. Well, anyways, we will be waiting, but just stick around and you enjoy all of that right here on Quest today.